Good morning. This is Pastor Jason of Kona Faith Center with a word for today. And the word for today is balance. Scientists have come up with a word, anthropic, meaning that everything in the universe has been balanced out perfectly to support life. A very, very small change in that balance, and life as we know it on earth would not exist. I had the privilege of having a ministry coach. He stated his approach to ministry as having an intentional, balanced life. He wrote a book or two on the idea that there are 7 spheres of influence in our lives that need to be brought into balance to be successful, to be satisfied, to be secure. Jesus rebuked one sect of the Jewish religious leaders because they did not know the scriptures or the power of God. The Word of Faith message that I was trained up under held as its highest distinctive the proper balance of the Word and the power of God. I find it interesting that when a different group of Jewish leaders came to try and trick Jesus, that Jesus' response was, give to the world what is the world's, give to God what belongs to God. In other words, live in the right balance. In another place, Jesus says, give honor to whom honor is due, respect to whom respect is due. In other words, live in the right balance. Balance things out. As my ministry coach taught, right balance is not natural. Even the second law of thermodynamics points this out by saying left to itself, every system tends to chaos or disorder or disorder. It takes intentionality to live in the right balance. It takes intentionality to achieve the right balance. It takes intentionality of living in right balance to truly be successful. This is primarily a priority issue. This is secondarily a time management issue. It's surprising to me how often we give more of our time and energy to things that really aren't high priorities while not giving the time and energy to our top priorities. Now, we all do this, but the more you do this, the tougher your life is. Stephen Covey wrote a famous book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, and he wrote, number 1, you got to keep the top priority the top priority. To do this, we have to have the right balance in our priorities. Most people don't keep the top priority the top priority. That's because it takes time and effort. The thing the Lord has had me thinking about the most lately is keeping the top priority the top priority. Everything that is good flows out of our personal time with Jesus. Everything. All ministry is a direct outflow of our personal relationship with Jesus. Period. E.M. Bounds wrote a lot on prayer. One of his most famous quotes goes something like, a lot of prayer, a lot of power. Little prayer, little power. No prayer, no power. And even in this, we must have the right balance. The right balance of the Word and the power of God, the right balance of reading, studying, listening, meditating, speaking the Word, the right balance of talking to and listening to God, the right balance of faith and humility, the right balance of taking care of the spiritual side of life with taking care of the natural side of life, the right balance of sitting in silence with speaking out loud in faith. In fact, the right balance of all the things that make up our lives. One of the blogs I read, the guy made an interesting statement. He said, the most important choice I make every day is the choice to ignore input that does not take me in the right direction so that I can give fuller attention to input that does take me in the right direction. Even in that, there needs to be the right balance. I think those who walk with Jesus need the right balance of the Word, the Holy Spirit, and people of like precious faith to make it. But even that needs to be in right balance with, life. Wash the dishes, clean the yard, take care of the life's natural needs. I want to challenge you to join me today in asking the Lord if there are things in right balance, knowing that most probably all of us need to make some adjustments so that the things in our lives are balanced in a way that pleases God. The word for today is balance. Make the adjustment today. God bless. Check in tomorrow.